Please welcome Marten Kuipers, Associate Design Director at DEPT.
No sale, entra vídeo.
Move my body.
I'm Marten Kuipers. My Spanish is not really well, so hola was one of the only words I know, so sorry about that. And I'm Associate Design Director at DEPT, that's where you saw the showreel from. And besides that, I'm a judge at several award shows, like the Webbies, Lobbies, and speaking at conferences like this awesome one at Upscale. And that's a baby photo of me animated with AI, and that's not a baby photo of me. It's 1 year back. Also animated with AI. So I think it shows the fun way what we could do with AI. Today I want to talk about more the functional way of using AI. So what's DEPT? You already saw the showreel, but DEPT is a 4,000 people digital agency with 20 offices all across the world. And we are full service. So we do digital, branding, commerce, campaigning, advertising, you name it. But of course, I don't want to talk the whole talk about AI, don't want to talk about the whole talk about DEPT, don't want to talk about myself. So I have one really important slide. I think that summarizes a bit like the past 3 years. And if you want to take your camera, this is the moment. Because fuck AI. You know, like, I'm a designer, and I like to be creative, and I got a lot of people in my DMs which were hating on AI, which were hating on me. It became really personal, and people said, like, you're not creative, Marten, you're using AI, or AI is cheating, or don't call yourself a designer, don't call yourself a creative. And these are just 4 real comments I got in my DMs, but I got hundreds of them because I started posting about it more. I started posting about what I created with AI, but also started posting about the pros and cons of AI. So people hating on it. But so let me go back to what is creativity, what is being creative. So let me refine this. So someone who is creative is using their imagination and skills to create new things, right? Creativity is the use of imagination or original ideas to create something new, something inventiveness. There's nothing here about, like, don't use AI, don't use this tool, don't use that tool. It's all about visualizing your imagination, right? That's where creativity is about, and that's why all these comments before were not fair. So let's love AI. That sounds better, right, than fuck AI. But there's also one thing going on with this, because we love AI a bit too much nowadays.
And as you can see, we go from bad up to good.
This is nonsense.
Wait, hey, I.
Did you say AI?
Yes. AI.
AI.
Generative AI.
Yes.
Multi, crypto, GPT, mega, AI.
So that's a bit what's going on right now, right? AI is kind of the magic word in a meeting. So when you say something is AI, oh, let's do AI. We work a lot for clients. A lot of clients want to have AI because it's AI, not because it's like the most functional tool or way of using your imagination. So a lot of people think that AI is fast, AI is cheap, and AI is good. And I think all these people in this room know that these three can't happen at the same time. Maybe, for a burger restaurant in your village or something, then it could be all, but not in the digital industry. So it's always one of the two or two out of the three, but it's never all three. So what's really clear is that AI loves fast, right? We know that. People love cheap, including me. But we, and then I call myself as a designer and also you as digital industry people, we love good, we love quality. So if AI saves time, and if AI saves money, what are we going to do with that free time? That's the real question we should ask ourselves. So we save time somewhere, but also want to spend that time somewhere else. So I think it's pretty clear that the focus should shift from quantity, because it's really easy to generate something within a few seconds nowadays with all the tooling which are available, to quality. And quality it's all about. Also for me as design director, but I think also for you guys, quality is everything. And sometimes AI gives you something which is not good yet, so you have to edit stuff, etc. So I think this metaphor sums it up pretty well. So every one of you has probably a telephone. An iPhone, Samsung, doesn't matter. And all of them have a camera. And that camera is pretty good nowadays. So all of us can make good pictures, but not all of us are photographers. So what does photography mean? That means that you think about what to shoot, when to shoot, where to shoot, how to shoot a photo, because that takes that photo to another level. So every one of us can use AI, of course, even my mom, but that doesn't mean it's good. So that brings me to the topic of today, redefining the balance between creating and generating. This is my first AI image. 3 years back, I created something in Midjourney. I wanted to create a sneaker. It's not really a sneaker. You see the Nike logo a bit, but that's it. This was a few months later. And that was pretty crazy because this took my attention, like, okay, if this is going so fast, I probably could use this in my day-to-day job as well at DEPT. So it took my attention. I thought, okay, I need to explore more. So I tried to create many images, like 40K on Midjourney, many on DALL-E 3 years back, and I tried to see what are the limitations of AI tooling nowadays, but also what are the benefits, what are the cons, how to use a prompt, how to get the best image, for the use case I want to look for. And AI was creative, AI was also realistic, and I had to find a balance between that. Like some cases I want to use the one, some cases I want to use the other. But back to the sneakers, because I'm a sneaker addict, I love sneakers. Sometimes I love them so much that I buy them, but they are not even my size. So that's crazy. I look at the design, and this is all AI generated, and I also started posting more about sneakers on social media. AI images I created with DALL-E, Midjourney, all those tooling. Nowadays, of course, with ChatGPT and Gemini and all. So this was one of those images. It's not my best one, I have to admit. But funny enough, this one went viral within, our AI little bubble and sneaker bubble. It went so viral that one custom sneaker designer approached me, and he said, yeah, it's my job to make real shoes, and I got inspired by your shoe. Let's make that shoe for real. I said, yeah, okay, then let's do it. So it took him 8 months to find the right materials and the right details for that shoe. And 8 months quite a while, but he wanted to make it as perfect as possible compared with, of course, the AI image. And I have them with me. So look at this. It's so awesome. And it's fun that, I used my imagination in the AI tool, and a craft person took that as inspiration for his outcome. So it was an interesting collab. You're not sitting next to each other, but you're sending stuff to each other. And he looked at the details. Like, for example, there was a cookie here on the side. And that was a cookie in AI, and it was just a cookie. And he thought, like, let's make an Oreo cookie out of it. So you see here the Oreo logo. So he got inspired also by the details to make something else out of it. And yeah, I paid 500 euros for this one, and it's not even my size. But I thought, okay, maybe I can talk about it on Upscale Conf. So here it is. So there's a lot going on, and we could call AI nowadays an imaginary friend. You know, if you said that 10 years back, you know, you probably needed a therapist or something, but in this case, we all have imaginary friends now. And they are always for you, they're always standing clear there for you, and this friend has a lot of benefits. Yeah, not in that way, you know, but a friend with benefits, and I want to talk about those benefits today. I want to talk about the benefits of using AI as a creative, as a designer in my day-to-day job. And at DEPT, we do a lot with AI. We are with 4,000 people. We have even an AI department, people who are really focused on those tooling and create language models, etc. So what we see in the left top corner, we see a clothing brand where we created the models for with AI. We see in the right top corner, we see interactive paintings where you could interact with and talk with, and it responds based on your input, based on what you're saying to them. Left bottom corner, beautiful work from Henry Daubres, you probably know this guy, for Coca-Cola, where we tried to find the limits of AI within OpenAI. It's all done with that. And right bottom corner, and that's, I think, the future, where we do more and more and more with, is adding an AI layer on top of our websites we are creating. So here it's a web shop for an interior brand, and we use AI like to highlight specific features. You can talk about it, but also the conversational UI is basically replacing the traditional navigation we all know in UX and in commerce. So, besides working for, you know, brands, we also work together with AI tooling, like OpenAI. Stuart Dunbar is part of that branding agency, and they do a lot for OpenAI, for in ChatGPT, but also for events they are organizing. So AI is everywhere at DEPT, and I want to show you 3 cases: an energy drink, a clothing company, and a football club, where we use AI in a smart, I think, fun way. First, I want to talk about the energy drink, Red Bull. Now, we all know Red Bull is way more than an energy drink, right? So it organizes sport events and also these kind of things like King of the Air, Upside Down, Red Bull Study. And they approached DEPT to create something for the Red Bull Basement. Maybe you heard of it, but Red Bull Basement is a competition where you can submit your own idea regarding climate change, regarding new tech, regarding AI, just groundbreaking ideas. And the winner goes to Silicon Valley and has a oh, the clicker is not working. Yeah, now it's working. And the winner goes to Silicon Valley and talks there with the tech leaders. And this one was the winner of last year and gets advice about entrepreneurship, about his idea, etc. They approached DEPT to create a platform for them, a platform where you can submit your ideas, really easygoing, but also, you know, where you get inspired by coming up with an idea and maybe even, you know, have a little brainstorm with the platform about that idea. So we created a nice platform, and I don't want to talk about the interface. I want to talk about like the features we added there and also the visual style we added there. So you probably all know this one, right? This is the typical Red Bull style. They do this for years and years and years, and it's a really nice illustration style, and it really makes them iconic.
Red Bull gives you wings.
And we have to work with that style, of course. So what we want to create a platform where you have like people where you can interact with, maybe characters. So we thought about like what kind of characters do we need for that? So we first thought about like, you know, some famous people or whatever, but then we thought, no, let's make people, you know, connected to a certain discipline. Like, for example, you know, a tech person or a salesperson, etc. So we created things with AI. This is AI. You see it at the Red Bull can. It's not perfect. So we tried to discover new tooling to see what we can do to create that characters. Just for in the platform to eventually brief the real illustrator to make it all fine-tuned. So we created different models, and later on we also used different tooling to see, what are the limitations of the characters and what kind of characters should it be, where you have to interact with in the platform. How should they look like? How should they move? And what kind of people are they? So, in the end, Keshner, that's the agency of Red Bull where they work with to make all those illustration and animations. They do that for years. And they made, in the end, all the final illustrations, right? So that's of course, but they were based on all the AI stuff we did before, because we did the imagination, we did the farting process. So, and in the end, we had 6 characters: the scientist, we had the robot, the businesswoman, social environmentalist, WizKid. 6 people you interact with in the platform to get your ID as solid as possible. But, of course, there's more than characters, right? We want to have a solid style which is consistent in everything. So we try to use that same style in the platform for also the venue where the event is hosted. So in the left, we see the input for the AI, just an image. Right, we see the output of AI, where we included the style, where we included the ID we had behind it, and we did that also for other things. So we tried to make everything as consistent as possible, at least, so we had an idea of what it could look like in the end. And in the end, we created a nice platform where we have all these illustrations together, but we also have this guy in the middle there, where you can interact with. He's the WizKid, so you can talk with him, and you can talk about, like, okay, what's your ID? And then he will say, from his WizKid perspective, he will say, oh, bad ID or good ID, and you should do this and this and this. So it's also a little brainstorm. And in the end, you speak with 5 people, or 6 people, and then in the end, you have a brilliant ID. That's the whole thing. So this is, for example, another person will reflect to you on your answers with their perspective. And in the end, we created a really nice platform where everything comes together. And it's not really about the UI here, but I think it's about the smart use of AI, like not only for the visuals, but also for the features. So my outtake is a cliche, but I think it really works for this one. Because like AI does not have taste, but you do. So all the people in this audience probably have taste, and hopefully. And so that was really important here. So we had to think about, like, which kind of characters do we want? Which kind of style do they need to be? How should they animate? How should they move? How should they, what is their tone of voice? All that things came by us, of course. And then we used that as input for the model and for the visual tooling. So we go from energy drink, we go to a clothing company. And this clothing company is called Jonsson Workwear. It's a South African-based company with lots of heritage in workwear. And it's a beautiful brand. And they also approached DEPT like, we want to have a new web shop, B2C, B2B, everything, also content. So we had to do it all. But it was not all happening at the same time. We started with B2C, then B2B, then the content part. So we had to work, during the B2C phase, we already had to work with content, and I want to talk about that. So this is Jonsson Workwear. They have beautiful products, but especially functional products, products that work. So if you have to work somewhere, in the rain, in the field, in the winter, their products will do the job. And so the quality is really good, and it's a lot of things are handmade, which is really awesome. So we created a really nice platform for them where we included content, where we had the whole commerce experience, etc. A lot of storytelling. But we needed content to create the designs in the beginning, right? And what we normally do is, find other photographers, like what kind of style do you have in mind? Get that to photography, not ideal. Or you go to stock photo sites, well, that's the worst. So we had to find with new ways of using photography in our designs. So we thought about, like, what can we do? Because we only have these kind of products. And we want to have photos for product-related, process-related, people-related. So, and we only had this. We only had plain product imagery. And not even high-res. Of course, you could upscale it, but still. So this was one of their products, and we thought, okay, let's make that into AI. This is 2 years back, so the quality was not that perfect yet. We couldn't use the exact product in AI back then. But we had to work with something, and it did the job. And so we created lots of imagery with a rain blue, a navy blue rain jacket, people wearing in a situation where we thought about like, okay, that's one of the major situations where you need this kind of clothing. And this helped the client to look through it. This helped the client like, okay, this is what kind of content do we need, and we did it also for other models and other kind of clothing. So they knew like what to expect, because we were going to shoot that all in the end. Or we were going with a team to South Africa to shoot everything. So that was the plan already. But we only had to work with, some placeholder stuff. And we didn't do that only for people. We also focused on the product part, of course, showing the stitches, showing the zippers, showing the materials, showing the sleeves, all that kind of stuff. We want to already visualize with AI, this was all AI, to see how can we work with that in the platform, in the design phase. In the end, the real photographer, a human, created a mood board. And that mood board was partly based on our AI imagery. So our AI stuff was inspiring the client a bit, like, oh, this is what we could expect, but also helped the photographer and the videographer in the end to see what kind of shots do we need, which is awesome. And this is the final shots. So this is all shot in South Africa in their factory, and trying to show the quality as good as possible. And we created also lots of nice short videos for in the platform, where AI was like the AI imagery we created was the base for this. So this was fun. Like it helped people on both sides. So we created way more, and we created like tens of videos and tens of imagery, which was really awesome to, really make the platform come to life. Like these are some shots from the commerce platform, and it's nice that you can do all content in this case. Normally you can always do a little bit. Here we could do it all, which was really awesome, and to see it all coming alive. So without the right input, no right output. I think this is going two ways here, because, for me, I had a prompt, that was my input, then I got output, I got some images. Those images were the input for the photographers and videographers, and that became output. So input became output, became input, became output. Now, you get it? That was really nice, that iterative process almost, like to create the perfect photo or create the perfect video. So, last case, and maybe the nicest one, because it's football and I'm a football fan, so Inter, you probably recognize it. Inter is a football club from Milan, you probably know it, they're playing San Siro, and we are having a big partnership with them for many years already, we as DEPT. So we do a lot for them, like their website, their app, their commerce platform, a lot of stuff. And it's really beautiful. We work together with the brand team of Bureau Bourges, which was really nice to make it all come alive and really make it feel Inter as good as possible. Lovely working for them. Also, we did some brand collabs between Nike and Inter to present their new jerseys, which was also really awesome. So, because we have a long partnership, they came back to us and they said, like, we need a loyalty platform. We want to attach the fans to us more and more and more, not only in the stadium, but also online. So, here's a little teaser of what we did.
Nerazzurri, buonasera.
So Interista is their loyalty platform. And this was a little teaser of what we did in the end, and now we will talk about the process behind it. Because obviously AI was part of it. We had 80 hours. Now, if you're a bit in the digital industry like me, 80 hours is not a lot. That's 2 weeks, one person, so it's not a lot. And if you have 2 persons, 1 week, now you get it. So it's not a lot, but we had to do a lot. We had to create a whole platform. So what are we doing? We wanted to do something with fans, like if you could see yourself in a fan on the platform so you can interact with that, or you see the fan is representing you as another fan. So we want to do something with fans, and we don't want to use real people, we don't want to use real players, because players are going, every season, new players, etc. So we want to have something solid for the upcoming years. So we thought about like creating characters, creating avatars almost, to match that feeling. And the whole idea about this loyalty platform is that it needed to feel special. Special to the fence, but also special within the whole ecosystem of Inter. So we had the website and the app, etc., and the socials. This needed to be different than the rest. So this is for the fence. And we used AI here because we created lots of imagery and we thought like, okay, what kind of avatars, what kind of characters do we need? Like, do we want to make it really realistic or more artistic? What are we going to do with their facial expressions? So we did a lot of Mid-Journey, afterwards we did a lot of Flora. And we had 80 hours, so we had to work fast. And we also had to think about the jersey, of course. Like, what are they wearing? Are they wearing the Inter jersey or something else? And what Inter jersey are they wearing? Like a really simplified version or a really detailed version? All those questions were coming up. And what are you going to do when the season ends and there's a new jersey? Blah, 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 blah. So we had to think about that. And we also thought about, like, how does that player look like? Like, in the right bottom corner is already more realistic. Left top corner is more like FIFA or something. So we had to find a way in between. So we came up with a lot of characters, all, a bit in a similar style, because that was important for the consistency, all with AI created. And they had to wear the jersey in the same way, right? So we couldn't paste, like, every jersey on every person. That wouldn't feel realistic, so we had to do it manually. There's a lot of Photoshop work in this as well. Sometimes the body is not the same image as the head, so we combined those two. So, and even, like, with the full body, we even had arms which were from a different person, a different character than the body and the face, so we had to mix it up. That there is Tom. Tom is also in the audience. He's our CGI specialist, and he was trying to create also animations for these characters. Like, how should they move? Is that really realistic or more like in video games? So he tried to do things with, with Conf UI, etc., those kind of tooling. And later on, we also had tried things with Runway. And Runway was, weirdly enough, the best tool for this, because it worked very well, like animating all those characters, and also a bit like different from each other. We don't want to have all the same kind of animations, so we've tried to fit an animation to the character. And besides characters, we also created badges, because it was a loyalty platform. You could earn badges, you could earn rewards, so we had to create badges. Also starting with a little AI image, ending up in real 3D work. So we created lots of badges here, all in a similar style, to make it really special, and you really want to earn these badges. These are awesome. So we created a beautiful platform, and we added like all the characters to it, and of course the rewards, and everything came together. And if you still remember, like two weeks, it's not a lot, and I think we did a lot, but thanks to AI. Because it's really saved us a lot of time here. And here are some, if it works, quality is not that good here, but okay. So here are some snapshots of like what you could do with the platform. And I also have a little reel created by Inter themselves about like what you can expect. I'm not sure if their Inter fans are here, but what you can expect as a fan in the platform. Yeah, so that was a beautiful case. It was just part of a reel. It took 2 minutes, but I thought it was way too long for this talk, so just kept the capture of that. And I think it was a really nice project. And I think the biggest insight here was never forget AI needs you more than you need AI. So, we are there for the input for the AI in the end. So we have to think about like when do we want to use AI and what kind of tool, and when do we have to do it manually. There's a lot of Photoshop work, etc. in there to make it better. If we had to change that with AI or adjust it every time with AI, it would take us way more time. So you have to think about like when use your craft, when you use AI, and what's the smartest way. So it goes, the collaboration is really important between you and the AI. So the key takeaways, because I'm looking at the time and I have to be in a hurry. So the key takeaways of today, of this talk, of course, I talked a lot about like creativity and AI. These are the 3 learnings, so if you missed the photo moment, this is the photo moment. AI does not have taste, but you do. really important. Without the right input, no right output, and never forget I need you more than you need AI. And I think I showed a few cases of what we're doing at DEPT. We do way more. I want to show you like the design perspective on AI and how AI could benefit me as a design director, and also the other way around. So, oh, fuck AI. Now, let's love AI, right? So, adios.